I'm Dana J. Francois, and you're listening to Stirring the Plot. Whether you're gay, hot, or doing it for the plot, this is the podcast for you. We're here and we're queer. We're gay and we slay. And just like Renee Rapp once said, I think I talk too much. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a podcast hosted by me, Dana J. Francois. And for the first time, I'm writing solo. But like I once said, there's a first time for everything. If I'm being so completely honest with you, I didn't think I would ever find myself sitting here doing this again, or at least not alone. For those of you who don't know, I have a podcast, or had, past tense, a podcast. And it was really fun. It was a baby passion project that I started with my roommate at the time, and we had a hell of a lot of fun doing it. But one thing that I think a lot of people can come to terms with and agree with is that life do be lifing, if you know what I mean. Sometimes people get taken in separate directions. I feel like I am settled in my life right now. I feel like I've never lived quite authentically as I am currently right now. Being in a position to live my most authentic self, live my truth, and have a hell of a lot of fun doing it. I decided that this year was a really big year for me. It was a big year of getting back into things. I got back into spoken word and I got back into writing. I've found myself in these spaces and these communities where I feel are making me feel like my best self, and making me feel really happy to be here and do what I love. And as I'm finding myself in these spaces, especially these predominantly queer creative spaces, I'm making connections and I'm meeting a hell of a lot of people. It just gets me thinking, like, damn, I miss having a way to connect with people and also provide a platform for other people to connect with others as well. I loved doing the podcast before, and I don't know. I feel like I am in this place in my life where I have let too many opportunities pass me by, and especially being where I am now, I don't want to miss any more chances. So I am doing a really big thing here, taking a jump all on my own, and I'm starting this podcast. I think it's funny to phrase it that way because, some people might side-eye this decision. Some people might think it's a little bit messy or that I'm stirring the pot. But I've been living by this daily mantra of being gay and being hot and doing shit for the plot. And at the end of the day, this podcast was born. I'm really, really excited for everything that I have planned for this podcast. I have a great lineup of guests that are going to come on this season. And I'm really excited for you to meet new people and also see some familiar faces, hear some familiar voices, but also get to know people as I'm getting to know them as well. This has been a big transformative year for me, and I'm really excited to finally let you come along for the ride. I'm really excited for the stories that we have lined up for this season. I'm really excited for the juicy drama, because of course there are some really amazing segments from previous that I loved and I am going to reintroduce, that being the Misadventures in Dating series. I guess I want to start off by saying a little bit about me. My name is Dayna. I'm currently 24, about to be 25. Leo season is right around the corner. I'm a Leo sun, Virgo moon, and Leo rising. Do with that information what you will. I am a writer and a spoken word poet, and now adding professional yapper to my resume. I am a queer, sapphic, lesbian woman, whatever you want to call me. I fall under that queer umbrella. Boy, do I have some stories to tell you. I make a lot of connections with a lot of people, and especially this year, I've met a lot of really cool, interesting queer people, and I'm really excited to connect with them here on this podcast for you guys to hear their stories. Just within the last few months, I have been so moved by the stories I've heard, and I really want to make a safe space for that to be an option for other people as well. And I was just having a conversation with someone, and I said, if just one person hears something from this podcast that touches them or makes them feel seen, heard, validated, not alone, something resonates with someone, if it's just one person, I say that's a job well done. I will be happy with that. But I do have a little bit of anxiety about being so open and vulnerable online, but I think it's important to do that because you create a connection with people. That's the number one thing that I took away from the last podcast is the amount of people that reached out to me and said, "Hey, that shit fucking resonated with me." Or thank you for sharing that because I never felt so seen, so heard, so validated. And that fucking touched me beyond belief to hear people say that. People I haven't spoken to in years, decades even, reaching out to me. People who I've never even spoken to before, but made a connection with them through this podcast. It means the world to me. It really does. And I'm at the point where I'm rambling now, and this is just an introduction episode. I'm fucking dead. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So, with that being said, for the very first time, if you enjoyed listening, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast and rate it. Don't forget to rate it because it not only lets me know that you enjoy listening, but it also helps my podcast get boosted to reach more viewers and have the capability to reach a wider audience. If you want to keep up to date on this podcast and everything that we have coming up for this first season, you can follow this podcast. It is just at Stirring the Plot Pod on all social media platforms. I will have everything linked in the show notes, just so you know. If you do want to follow me, my personal Instagram is just at Dayna J. Francois on all social media platforms. I am going to try to be a lot more active on social media this time around. So everything will be linked in the show notes. And I guess with that being said, if you liked listening, make sure that you subscribe to my podcast and tune in for season 1. Because I'm gay, I'm hot. And if there's one thing about me, well, I'm gonna stir the plot. Bye, guys.